This is a short video warning all business owners across the US about possible scam practices that came to my attention. As a business owner myself and having clients who are business owners, a lot of times you receive letters and notices from the IRS and state taxing authorities. And whenever you receive them, you want to resolve the issues as quickly as possible. But a lot of times, unfortunately, you receive spam, the desire to resolve the problem as soon as possible and pay as much as you're required before the deadline can be stressful. So this video is just to show you approximately what you may receive and show you the red flags that you can look out for. I happen to receive one letter and I will go over it, but please keep in mind that you may receive a notice similar to this or different with a different number, different fee, and maybe different questionnaire, different things. But the things that I will tell you to watch out for will apply to most of these forms. And in my case, I'm going to talk about the alleged EIN amendment, which is not a thing, by the way. You don't amend your EIN or information pertaining to your EIN. So I'm gonna put a whole bunch of resources in the description from the IRS where you can dig deeper on what you need to do with the EIN. Generally, if you receive an EIN, there is really not much you need to do about this. There is no maintenance. You don't need to pay an annual fee to maintain it. You don't need to amend information. Sometimes you need to obtain a new EIN in certain circumstances, but usually if you change your address, if you change your business or add additional service or sell something else, there is no need to amend. There is no such concept as amending an EIN. The same thing with the BOI. You don't pay for the BOI at all. And whenever the information changes about yourself or your company, you go online yourself and you update it. You can do it online, you can definitely do this by paper, but there is no payment associated with BOI, at least at this moment as of September 2024. So here's the supposed notice I received from spammers called US Corporate Classifications. In my case, it's Form 6593, but it can be any form. And it says EIN amendment form. There is no such thing as amending your EIN. So that's already a big red flag, but a lot of taxpayers don't know about this. And they get this form that looks like this overall, and it looks very similar to a normal form from the IRS. It has parts 1, 2, and 3, and they're all formatted in a way that a regular IRS form looks like. In addition to that, they give you the exact information on your legal entity name and the actual address. I erased mine. And they also give you the correct ID number, which is public record, so it's easy to find. I don't know what this barcode is for, but for just in case, I erased a portion of it. They do give you a very short deadline. I believe I received this letter on August 15th or so. So they obviously put pressure to you to fill this out and pay. In my case, it was $107 to US Corporate Classifications, but a lot of times it's a different number. So, and let's look at this paragraph, because this actually includes another red flag that you can be on watch out. So it says, "Dear business entity, this letter is to inform you that upon examination of your EIN, an incorrect business code was used to describe your primary business activity. It's important to ensure that your business code accurately reflects the nature of your business for proper classification and compliance purposes." So when it comes to business codes, every time you file a tax return, whether it's an LLC that you file on Schedule C or any corporate return partnership, you always use a NAICS code, or North American Industry Classification System. This code is used by various US governmental agencies, mostly for statistical purposes. So, but just by the fact that the letter is very ambiguous on what business code is necessary, and normally NAICS code is not something that the government agency applies to you, it's what you put on your tax return. And so if it changes or the codification system changes, you just update your tax return. There is no separate paper to update that. And the fact that the letter doesn't specify the code is another red flag for taxpayers to watch out for. Let's go to part 2, the actual questionnaire. And these questions are ridiculous. So the first one is, does this business sell goods, offer services, or both? So I guess that's not an unreasonable question, but again, I don't know why that would be important for your EIN. The second question is, does this business have a website? This is legitimately a ridiculous question. No one needs to know this. The government couldn't care less whether you have a website or not, but spammers would like to know if you have a website and then figure out what this website is to potentially break into it. And then the third question is, does this business process sales online? So I would venture to say if you do, the government would probably know anyways, and to be brutally honest, it's not something that the government would like to know. They couldn't care less how you process sales, online or not online. But spammers would like to know this again, because if you do, they would have a potential to break and hack your accounts. Does this business have full or part-time employees? So this is another ridiculous question, because if you do, you have to pay salary and you have to issue forms W-2 to your employees, and you have to file extra forms with the IRS and other state taxing authorities. So the government will definitely know if you have employees or not. But spammers would like to know this because they would want to target your employees to potentially do phishing attacks and hack into your employees' emails if you have them. Does this business have an active insurance policy? There are certain businesses that require insurances, and certain states have different rules and regulations depending on the type of business, but the IRS, for the EIN purposes, no, they couldn't care less. But will annual payroll for this business exceed 2 million? Again, the government would know if you had payroll because you have to file payroll tax returns. Is it anticipated that this business will need a loan in the next 12 months? None of the taxing authorities would ever need to know this. They couldn't care less whether you need a business loan or not. But spammers would like to, because if you say yes, they would send you emails with spam offers for some cheap loans for, various businesses. Does this business have revenues exceeding 1 million annually? This is something that the government would know with the tax returns that you file. And spammers would like to know how big your business is, so that they know what the stakes are and whether they should target you or not. And then they say, give a brief description of the primary goods or services offered by this business, because they want to be able to tailor their spamming emails or phone calls so that they can catch your attention. The third part requires your signature, and there are more red flags here than anywhere else. Submitter's signature is spelled wrong, specifically submitter. This is not something the IRS would do. In fact, I don't think they misspell anything. And if you read this little text, which is annoying to read, but this is kind of a word salad. So if you read this will definitely show you that this is spam. So it says, I declare that I have examined this form, and to the best of my knowledge and belief, it is true, correct, and complete. Okay, so fine. Declaration of preparer is based on all information of which preparer has any knowledge. Yeah, I don't know, this doesn't make much sense. Knowingly providing misleading or false information may lead to misclassification and invalidity. What misclassification and what invalidity? They don't specify. This is a crazy sentence. It makes no sense. United States corporate classifications will maintain the accurate classification of your business within our system and any systems we provide information for. This type of wording never ever exists when you sign forms with the IRS. If you miss all of these red flags that I've just specified, practically every question on this questionnaire is a red flag. This paragraph is a red flag. This typo is a red flag. There is another one that you can look out for. One other thing that they send you with this letter is this envelope, and it has the mailing address. So if you are in doubt, I highly recommend you going on Google Maps or some kind of maps, putting the address into it and see what shows up. It's not only about not paying the fee that they specify, whether it's $107, $115, $120 or whatever it is. It's more even about providing the necessary information to spammers. I highly recommend exercising additional due diligence when it comes to receiving notices from whatever taxing authority it is. And if you can't resolve the notices on your own, you should contact your CPA. And if your CPA is busy or doesn't know, you can contact me. I have free tax consultations, so feel free to register at lidacpa.com. So I hope this video was useful to you, and I sincerely hope and wish that you never become prey to these spammers.